Hey, what's up, Hank Klinger? Shooting this video here about the power of consistency. I've been reading through Robert Cialdini's book, The Power of Inner Influence, The Power of Persuasion. I highly suggest that all of you read through this book. It's very powerful, but he talks about consistency in a whole different way than I ever really thought about. I always thought about consistency as far as like taking your daily actions to create the success, or like when you're doing a diet. Like, I'm very into fitness, is you have to exercise every day, or something like showering, motivation. There's something you have to do every day. But the way he talks about consistency when it comes to influence and persuasion, it's in relation to decision making. You see, when we make a final decision, a real decision, and the word decision itself comes from, literally the Greek word decisio, which means to literally cut off or sever off any other options, no plan B type strategy. So what he's talking about in this book, though, is he's talking about this woman, Sarah, who's in this relationship with this guy named Tim, and Tim was a heavy drinker. And Sarah wanted a long-term relationship. She was ready to commit, but she wanted Tim to ask her to marry her, and she wanted Tim to quit drinking, but Tim resisted, and eventually Sarah just broke it off. And she met a new guy. They had this great relationship. They got engaged in time. They sent out invitations, planned out a date, all that stuff, and then sure enough, Tim came barking back, wanting Sarah back, but she said, no way, I'm happy, I've got a good relationship. Well, Tim had told her that if she took him back, he would quit drinking and that he would marry her. And sure enough, she waited out and she made a decision to go back with Tim. And this is where the consistency is going to come into play when it comes to decision making, is after she took Tim back, within 2 months, Tim said, I don't think I need to quit drinking. And then he also said, I think we should wait for the marriage to get married. And she stuck with him, though. And 2 years later, she still was with Tim. He was still drinking heavily. The relationship hadn't changed, but her attitude and view on the relationship had changed. She was more committed to ever. She loved him more than ever, and she was happy. And the reason being is because the power of consistency is that human beings want to be consistent. So when we make a final decision, a true decision to ourselves, then we want to be consistent with our decision. Now, Sarah had made the decision that she wanted, that she loved Tim. She said to herself, when I decide to leave this other guy and choose Tim, that my decision was final, my heart was in it, he's my true love, so my decision has to be followed by consistent action, by me loving him and being committed to him and accepting him for who he is. So this is really the power of consistency. This also can be seen with, somebody who's going to, say, do a bet at like a racehorse or whatever, bet on a racehorse for a win, and they might be toiling it over in their head which horse to pick, but as soon as they pick that horse, because of the decision, then their belief in that horse's ability to win will jump tenfold, because they want to be consistent with their decision that they just made. So I just wanted to shoot this video for you guys to remind you about the power of decision, because when you make a final decision, I mean that there's no other option, then you will naturally be consistent with that decision, and you will overcome fears, you will overcome doubt, you will overcome worry, and you will take massive action towards achieving your goals. So I want to encourage you guys, if there's something in your life that you want, just simply make a decision that you're going to do whatever it takes to get it, and it will naturally come to you. Other than that, I appreciate you guys, and if you want to learn more about what I do, I work online, I travel around, work from my laptop, I love it, I build teams, then I want to encourage you to message me on whatever social network this is, or click the link around this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hank Klinger, you guys have a wonderful day. Take care.